Welcome everyone who's joining us online. We have a room of people here at Fresno State Center for Irrigation Technology, and we're anxiously awaiting this pitch event. Got 10 really good ventures, in my humble opinion, to present 5 minutes each and to take 3 minutes of Q&A. So hopefully those of you who see these ventures today will find them interesting and perhaps might connect with them. They're looking to develop their technologies in California and move their businesses forward and try to solve some meaningful problems in our communities. And we're going to get started in about 2 minutes. All right, welcome everyone. My name is Jeff Macon. I'm the Venture Development Manager for Fresno State's WET Center, which stands for the Water Energy Technology Center. And we have a couple programs through the WET Center. One is the Blue Tech Valley Innovation Cluster, and that makes us one of the 4 statewide innovation clusters for the California Energy Commission. And we also have this Valley Ventures Accelerator, which was originally sponsored by the U.S. Economic Development Administration. And that has helped us put together 6 cohorts of water, energy, and ag tech ventures to come together to be accelerated through this program to try to develop technologies and businesses here in California and beyond. So we hope you enjoy the 10 pitches that you will be seeing today. There will be 5 minutes each. And then after each pitch, there will be 3 minutes for Q&A. And we'll explain how you can get your questions in a few minutes. But let me go around to the WET Center team members and have them briefly say hi so you know of the team that's behind putting this together. And first, I would like to start with Hadley Cicerone. Hadley, would you please say hi? Introduce yourself.
So hi, my name is Hadley. That's gonna echo. Just read it. Just your head.
Okay. So my name is Hadley Cicerone. I'm the Valley Ventures and Blue Tech Valley coordinator. So I'm Jeff's student worker. I do a lot of the background information as far as calendar invites and all that stuff. And I'm also a senior in agriculture business at Fresno State. So I'm excited to watch everyone's pitches today.
Thank you very much, Hadley. And let's move on to another WET Center team member, the operations guru here, and Grace Manley. Would you please introduce yourself and say hi?
Hi, my name is Grace Manley. I'm looking forward to this event and thank you all for attending.
Yes, thank you. Now, Hadley or Grace, is Benjamin Francis on by chance?
I don't see Ben right now, but you can go to Helle, who has permission to talk.
Okay, let's go to Helle Peterson. Helle, would you like to say hi and introduce yourself?
I would love to say hi, and I think I introduced myself at the first session we had, but I have been following all of you from a distance and getting a lot of really good updates from Jeff and from the team that's been engaged a lot in this program. And I'm just very excited to hear your pitches and to keep on just seeing all the great things that you all are doing.
Well, thank you, Helle. I appreciate that. Now, before I move on to our director, Dr. Charles Hillier, before I do that 1 second, I just want to again say for those of you who have joined us online, thank you so much. We very much appreciate you spending an hour and a half with us this Thursday afternoon. We look forward to presenting these 10 ventures who have gone through our Valley Ventures Accelerator, our 6th cohort, and collectively, we've had 70 ventures, water, energy, and agricultural technology ventures go through our accelerator over 5 years. 70 ventures have raised over $100 million in external funding. And we see that as a really strong signal that these ventures are doing some really impressive things, some meaningful things that can help our communities and our businesses move forward. So over $100 million in external funding from investors, grants, strategic partners of what they've been able to develop over these years. In fact, I see an alumnus here, a couple of alumni members of our Valley Ventures Accelerator who've raised funds and developed solutions into our markets and irrigation, water, and dairies. I very much appreciate their attendance here. Now, let's move on to the last introduction from the WET Center team, and that would be Dr. Charles Hillier. Please, sir.
Hi, everybody. So I had a chance to meet with almost all the ventures yesterday. I'm really excited to hear you guys' pitches. It sounds like you've got some great technologies to offer. For the people online, my name is Charles Hillier. I'm the director of the Center for Irrigation Technology. We are one with the WET Center, and there's a lot of great synergy between our testing activities, our research activities, and the business accelerator activities. So I'm thrilled that you're all here with us in person and online, and I'm looking forward to these pitches. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, and let's get ready for our first 5-minute pitch, and that will be Climformatics, Dr. Subarna Bhattacharya, and let's welcome Subarna. Please come.
Thank you.
Thanks for inviting. Hi, I'm Subarna Bhattacharya, co-founder and CEO of Climformatics. Climformatics is a woman-owned company based in Fremont, California. We are former employees of Lawrence Livermore National Lab, scientists with expertise in climate modeling, climate data science, and climate risk assessment. Our mission is to be able to predict localized climate to proactively prepare and protect the agricultural communities and businesses from unforeseen extreme climate risks. We use climate modeling, weather modeling together with data science and machine learning to build a predictive tool that can predict localized climate 1 year ahead of time.
Oops. Okay, 1 second. And there
Thank you. Changing climate is negatively impacting agriculture, decreasing crop yield and revenue. California is currently in a state of drought emergency. An example from 2015 drought that happened in California, about $1.8 billion in ag losses, and 1/3 of that attributed to drop in yield from almond farming. Precision ag tools currently only allow farmers to make reactive decisions looking back at what had happened. The weather data that's almost real time or a few days, 5 days to a week ahead in time does not enable long-term planning. Solutions are needed for climate variability. Climformatics forecasts 1 year ahead of time enables farmers to proactive money-saving decisions. Precision ag tools, together with the Climformatics climate forecast data, enable farmers to make proactive decisions like diversify crop variety or buy better crop insurance coverage or install more efficient irrigation. So Climformatics technology has been validated over 300 locations, zip code locations in California for 5 years from 2011 to 2016. Here is a case study from Fresno for precipitation prediction validation. Speaking of which, we just had a bomb cyclone and an atmospheric river in the recent few days in Fresno, delivering a record high daily rainfall of October rainfall of 0.8 inches in Fresno. Yet the very next few days has wildfires, has smokes, has air quality degradation. That is the state of climate uncertainty we are currently in. The NOAA forecast that you see on the right side of the plot in big gray bars are forecasts for NOAA for those 4 years. And in comparison to the observations in blue and predictions from Climformatics in orange, you can see we are about 4 inches in error per season compared to NOAA, which is 115 inches off. We predicted the Fresno rainfall this year earlier to be 1.6 at December 2020 to be 1.6 inches and observed was 1 inch. Can we move to the slides? My clicker is not working. Thank you. So I'll quickly go through this. We have predicted this for a pilot that we did for the woodland farmer. And you can see the maximum minimum temperatures. We predicted the daily, the monthly temperatures, the heat waves, the frosts, all the advisories along with the growing degree days with an accuracy of 2.5 degrees centigrade or 4.5 degree Fahrenheit within observations 70 to 90% of the time. Can we move through? Okay, sorry, this time it worked. So Climformatics tools enable through the web interface and API sub-seasonal forecast, seasonal forecast, and multiple years ahead forecasts. We can deploy an enterprise level solution that takes care of business intelligence, proactive risk mitigation, and we can provide hyper local resolution to forecast extreme weather events. Ours is a SaaS business model with direct customers, channel partners, and enterprise level customers. Our ask is we're looking for paid pilots in wineries, almond orchards in Central California over 6 to 12 months for the trial period, covering the cost of labor and computing infrastructures. We are also seeking seed investment of $750K for our MVP development and go-to-market. Our direct consumers are priced between $6,000 to $10,000 a year. Thank you. We're open for questions.
Thank you very much, Subarna. Stay there to take questions. I'm going to move right here. So we got 3 minutes. Good job on your 5-minute presentation of Climformatics. Appreciate that. So now we have 3 minutes of Q&A. And so anyone from online audience, Grace, would you like to tell the online audience how they could best get their questions to you?
Online, you can either use the Q&A feature in the chat bar at the bottom of your screen, or if you raise your hand, we can unmute you and allow you to talk and ask your question out loud.
I'm going to step off screen there because it was weird with me being split in half. I'm going to let it focus on you, Subarna. So yes, if you're online and if you could chat in questions, as Grace just mentioned there. Grace, if we have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, for those in the room, we can ask questions. And Dr. Hillier was asking me if we can ask tough questions. And by all means, we can ask tough questions. So I'm sorry, but we're going to start with
No
the tough
worries,
questions
bring it
from
on.
Dr. Hillier. And here's a microphone, the speaker over here. Charles, if you wouldn't mind speaking into that for the online audience, is safe.
Sure. So first, thank you for doing this. Getting climate forecasts is one of the really challenging things in irrigation system design. And I'm wondering, have you done any statistical analyses that would show farmers what the consequences are of making a decision with your product versus the typical or standard way of doing it?
No, that's exactly the pilot we're looking for.
Okay, excellent.
Yet.
Thank
We
you.
have done all the technology validations on our side.
Yeah.
Comparisons to observations.
So that's the opportunity you would love to connect with.
Absolutely.
Someone who might be
That's what we're
online.
looking for.
Or if
Yeah.
they know someone online who can help put your Climformatics to the test, as Dr. Hillier just mentioned.
Sure.
So we have a couple more minutes for questions. Anything from online or no?
Yes, there is somebody in the audience with their hand raised. So Earl, I'm going to allow you to talk. So you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hi there. Yeah, I've seen a bunch of companies like yours in this space, and the regional aspect of what you're doing is very interesting. You've got to find a way to monetize it, and obviously you're looking for pilots. Co-ops would be a targeted area. The seed companies would also be another target area. Anybody who's doing supplies, also insurance companies would be good, because I mean, most farmers, if they can save 5% by buying a little less seed or a little more seed, would definitely be of interest. You could also tap into the tractor networks of the John Deeres, et cetera, see where they are, and maybe they could help you identify some of the pilots to go into here. But there's a lot of people making money on the forecasting and the long-term forecasting, because there is a really direct impact within a single year to the farmers on guessing this right. And there are a lot of places out there that would be eager to work with you in that space. But I would try the co-ops first.
Is this Earl, who I'm scheduled to meet with next week? You do SBIR work. Is this the same person?
It is me.
Hey, thank you for joining us online.
Thank
Very
you.
Nice question. Earl threw out some good ideas.
Absolutely.
What do you think about some of
I
his
think
ideas?
all of them are good ideas, and we would graciously appreciate, any connections we can get towards those.
And you have some
Thank you.
pricing for pilots. You had a slide up
Absolutely.
there. You weren't able to
Yeah.
talk about it too much, but do you
Yeah.
want to?
We
Sharing
were looking for,
pricing.
small localized pilot for about $25,000 that covers mostly the compute cost and some of our cost of labor.
And this could
Yeah, and this
foreseeably-
could be between 6 to 12 months and can be very easily tested multiple times, maybe even during the course of pilot.
All right. Thank you, Subarna.
Thank you.
Thank you. If you want to leave the clicker there, please.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you,
everyone.
Earl.
Nice job, Subarna. Hey, again, it's Jeff Macon. I'm the moderator here for this, and we're going to go to our second of 10 presentations. And the second will be Howe Neat and Daniel Howe, please. And everybody, thank you, Daniel Howe. Yes.
Yes. And thank you for your interest. We test it first.
Yes, please.
Yes.
We could just leave it there, it's fine.
It's working for you?
Can you go back?
The test. Can you go back?
Yeah, we've been having some troubles with the
Yeah,
here, so.
always, always.
Sometimes it just doesn't click.
All right. So anyway, thank you so much for the introduction, and thank you for your interest. My name is Daniel Howe. I'm with Howe Neat. And I'm really pleased to announce to you today our new AgTech solution. We've been working really hard on the last few years.
This in suspense. It's the clicker.
Okay. Farms and cars have a lot in common. Just think of driving your car in the morning, and you may take for granted that there's a system inside your car that is checking every sensor and every component of your car and making sure that everything is operating correctly. It is helping you get to point A to point B safely and effectively, and taking care of you is its primary objective. When that system doesn't work anymore, you notice that through a check engine light. However, in most farm data management software, there's nothing like that. In short, it's like driving your car or driving your farm without having any oil. So at Howe Neat, we've designed a system that not only checks the data used in yield modeling and irrigation control, but we also make hardware that is affordable and scalable to meet your needs. So what would you trust? Farm data without validation. In this graph here, you can see that there's some sensor data and there's gaps in that data. Most sensors have difficulties after a period of years, but when this is used in farm data and yield management, that can throw off a lot of decisions. So I'm pleased to introduce to you Neatmon. It's a subsidiary of Howe Neat. It's a turnkey farm management software. So when Howe Neat first opened 3 years ago, we saw a great need for sensors and started to meet that need. But we also saw that there was also a need for versatile, robust, and affordable infrastructure. So through many iterations, I'm happy to introduce to you that solution with you today. But I wanted to take you through a little bit about what happened and where we are today. In 2020, we took some big steps and we sold some of our first pilot sensors and systems. And in 2021 alone, we have filed for patents. We have scaled production. We've added 7 employees, a new lab, and have incorporated new Neat as a subsidiary. Our business model is a multi-level approach. We have a direct-to-farmer and an OEM business channel integration. Our software is map-based and enables users to focus on areas that need attention most so that they can zero in on pressing issues and coordinate with other users. Neatmon is available on the cloud and as a standalone turnkey platform. Most importantly, is an open development platform which enables third-party development as new solutions become available. Above all, data integrity is paramount, and actions cannot be derived from poor quality data. So let me introduce to you our hardware solution. Our automated monitoring nodes can connect with most sensors on the market today, including soil moisture, weather stations, and are designed for future expansion. I've designed this product from the ground up for agriculture as a robust aluminum all metal enclosure. It's perfect for the use case. If you wouldn't mind, go ahead and play the animation for us. This is the notification rate. Provides an in-field notification of any sensor alert, such as temperature or fault in pumps. It can change colors and illuminate in different ways. Additionally, we have a DIN-mounted solution, which works inside of pump control cabinets. It's very similar. And sensors that we've designed internally. Regardless of where the farm is, how small or large, we have a solution to allow farmers to remotely monitor and report for every acre and every drop. This is how we compare to others in the market today. We're similar, but different. Mostly, we are an open platform, not proprietary, and we have an extended warranty. This is our team, and we're growing. But we realize that not every solution fits. So we have professional services and connected devices for every solution. One of our customers that we've worked with had an update story that's really unique. I suggest that if you have some time, take a look at what we've done for them. Most importantly, thank you so much for your time. And I look forward to any feedback that you have. Thank you.
All right, I appreciate that 5-minute presentation. We're on mark as far as time. And so now let's facilitate 3 minutes of Q&A and see if anybody online has any questions that they're chatting in or raising their hand for. Otherwise, people in the room, including Dr. Hillier, might have some tough questions for you, Daniel. Grace, are we getting anything from online yet or no?
Nothing yet, but just to remind everybody, please chat in your questions via the Q&A or raise your hand and we will let you talk.
Very good, Grace. Even though when you had to go take that call and come back in and you're still on it. Very nice. Dr. Hill, your irrigation's your thing. We've got Howe Neat and his Neat Mon. He was announcing his Neat Mon today. I saw fancy lights on it. Do you have any thoughts for Daniel here?
So when you showed me that, the first thing that came to mind was when I first started grad school, I met one of the giants in our field, and he was describing what farmers wanted from a soil moisture monitoring system. He said, the farmer told me what I want is something that I can look at from my truck while I'm driving by at 60 miles an hour. That's it.
Thanks. That's exactly what we're doing.
Yeah.
Specifically for frost alerting, as you drive up and down, for example, my home, Napa Valley, you can drive on a corridor and you look through the fields and you can see all the different vineyards just straight from the road. So as you're driving, we imagine that this could be deployed in the field at scale and that you can see areas that are frost and go to those areas to address it.
That's the check engine light, right? You're being literal. First time you're announcing it today.
That's the first time we've announced it. The check engine light component is actually validating the data in the field and making sure that the sensor data is accurate and valid. So when you have a sensor that's reporting out of range, most of the time it's only caught because it's outside of the range, not because if you have a sensor that's floating inside of that range, it looks okay, but that's the check engine light.
We still have a minute, and I do want to point out you were humble and you did not say that Howe Neat is cash flow positive. And I just want to mention that because to me, I hear farmers say, if I'm going to bring on a new technology solution, will this startup be around? Daniel's been doing it for 3 years in precision ag, very tough market to get into. He saves farmers money and he takes payment from that savings and he's cash flow positive with his team. I find that highly remarkable.
Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. A round of applause. We have just 45 seconds left. Let's hold on and see if you have anything from online, sir. Anything from online?
We do have one question. Hopefully you understand it more than I do. Does the system interface with SDI-12 protocol?
Thank you for that question. That's a really good question. So we've designed the system to address SDI-12, RS-45, Modbus, I2C, analog, and digital sensors. So you can connect any sensor that you like through the terminal block or through the Bluetooth interface. Thank you for that question. I really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you very much, Daniel. And Howe Neat. Watch your step. Okay. Again, Jeff Macon moderating. We're going to go to our third venture out of 10. The next venture is Nurture Growth Biofertilizer. Lee Luong, please. Yes, Lee. Yay. Please test it and see that you got the controls.
Hi, my name is Lee and I'm the co-CEO of Nurture Growth Biofertilizer. We're just going to be testing this for a bit and it looks like we're ready to rock and roll.
Awesome.
Okay.
We envision a world where farmers and home gardeners can fight climate change and reduce greenhouse gases while growing sustainable foods. 40 years ago, my parents immigrated to Canada and we farmed cucumbers. They faced many challenges and today farmers have even more. The population is expected to explode by 25% in the next 30 years with 2 billion more mouths to feed. 1/3 of food produced is either lost or wasted, which mostly ends up in landfills and produces methane, a toxic greenhouse gas. 1/3, according to the United Nations, greenhouse gases is the third largest contributor, food waste is the third largest contributor of greenhouse gases. Lastly, climate change is threatening crop production and farmers are asked to produce more with less. What if there was a biological solution that can solve these problems? Nurture Growth is an award-winning circular economy company that is stepping up to solve some of the world's biggest problems with the help of the world's smallest organisms. Our competition focuses on the plant. We leverage biology instead of chemistry. So our biofertilizer feeds the soil and the soil feeds the plant. Just think of us as a probiotic for the soil. We rescue and upcycle food waste from restaurants and supermarkets, which is why we're part of the circular economy. And then we feed it to the microorganisms in our biofertilizer. The final product is a liquid concentrated formula, which can be applied to any crops and can be fed through a drip irrigation or through a foliar spray. We're on the frontier of regenerative farming, and we've been proving our product for more than 4 years with more than 24 farmers. Our farmers are telling us that they've seen improved soil quality and water retention. Their crops are resilient to heat, drought, and disease caused by climate change, and they produce higher yields. We're disrupting the agriculture industry using the science of biomimicry by naturally producing nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. We're adding beneficial microbes to the soil, and the microbes are balancing the soil microbiome and making the nutrients available to the plants. There are many biological products out there. However, no one does as many as us. Looking at the chart, we check all of those boxes. It's less guesswork for the farmers. We're helping farmers to increase their profits by producing higher yields, and we're helping them to save money by reducing their input costs. Our biofertilizer is able to help fixate nitrogen, solubilize phosphorus and potassium. We have a mycorrhizae fungi, and we're able to mobilize zinc, iron, magnesium, and calcium. Just think of us as a buffet of microbes for the crops. We're also helping farmers to save money and to replenish soil. Not all biofertilizers are created equal, and we're in a class of our own. Our biofertilizer also has biostimulant and bioinoculant qualities. We have more microbes and a higher concentration with a longer shelf life and no storage required. It's versatile on all crops, and it can be applied as a seed treatment or a soil amendment. We gained tremendous success in the last few years, and we're supplying to 10% of the wine industry in Ontario. Next year, we're running a pilot with Trefethen in Napa Valley. We're also selling to home gardeners through Home Depot, Lowe's, and Amazon, and we won numerous awards for our innovation in AgTech, Cleantech, and Biotech. We also are participating in prestigious programs just like this one, and we're really excited to be a part of the United Nations Global Impact Program. They say the proof is in the pudding. And here are some results from our Bachelor trial. This farmer was able to increase his yield by 50%. The roots are longer, and you can take a look at the soil quality, which means that it's healthier and it's able to retain water. In our field trials on grapes, we're able to help farmers increase the brick level. Higher brick level means higher sugars. We're also helping farmers to increase their yields in tomatoes. Imagine having 33% profits. Just after 2 sprays, you can see new growth. Today, we're asking farmers to try our products so we can collect local data. If you're a fruit farmer, a nut tree farmer, a vineyard, or a vegetable farmer, we'd love to talk to you. We're also looking for distributors to represent us here in California. Nurture growth is better for people, better for plants, and better for the planet. Thank you.
All right, yes. Thank you very much, Lee. Good presentation. 5-minute pitch on nurture growth biofertilizer. So we're taking 3 minutes of Q&A for Lee. Any questions from online, please chat them in or raise your hand so that Grace can facilitate those questions. Grace, let me know if you have any questions, and I will always go to Dr. Hillier for questions, but does anybody else have a quick question for Lee? I see a hand in the back. Yes, Jeremy.
Retail cost.
Hold
And
on.
the question from the back was, what is the retail cost?
Yes.
So so a small bottle like this is $14.99 at Home Depot in Canada. In the United States, we're looking roughly around $9.99, and for a 1 liter bottle, you're looking at $30. However, for commercial farms, we have a different price, and because we're buying in bulk volumes, it's significantly more cost efficient.
And then we do have a question online. So Earl, you can go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hi, Earl.
Earl has a question.
Sorry. So you're out of Canada?
Yes, I am. I'm based out of Toronto.
Okay. The Canadian consulate out of Los Angeles just did a presentation on Canadian technologies. You may want to check in with them.
Yes, thank you. I think it's an AgTech program.
Right. They just did that. Were you part of that?
No, we were not part of that. They were mostly looking for technologies as opposed to fertilizer companies.
Okay. Are you focusing on the home market at all?
We have a small input in the home market. However, we're mostly focusing on commercial farmers.
Okay. Because and later on, the home market people, they will pay a premium for less quantity.
Yes.
What we're trying to do, but okay. Thanks.
Lee, I do want to point out, you've been successful with Nurture Growth Biofertilizer in the Toronto area of Canada, selling it not only there, but in California. What are you showing us?
So this is one of our vineyards that is using our product. So they've been they've been using our product for the last few years, and they're our biggest champion. It's Hidden Bench. So I just want to give a shout out to Joel from Hidden Bench. They're a premium vintage wine, and this is for.
Very nice. Well, I wasn't getting the wine, Lee. I was getting to your sales.
Oh,
what
our
have you
sales.
done with sales? What's your spin on your sales, please?
So we've doubled sales every year for the last 4 years, and
Phenomenal.
we're looking to grow more, especially here in California.
In 30 seconds, Dr. Hilliard, do you have anything for Lee to throw at her? If you don't, that's fine.
You mentioned yield increases. Did you notice any differences on a per crop basis on the yield impact? Are they all uniform across all crops, or any difference?
So in the tomato trial, there was variation, but on average, we were looking at 14 pounds per plot versus 10 pound of non-treated. So that was the average. So it wasn't like there was a big variation. There was a small variation, and they took the average of that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Lee. Good job. All right, yes, nice job. Even the wine for me, is that okay? Wine's for me. Thank you very much, Lee Luong. Nurture Growth Biofertilizer. Now for our fourth venture, it is Verdi, and this is Arthur Chen. Please. Thank you, Arthur. All right, good job. Yay.
All right, I'm just going to test it out as well.
Oh, no, use it.
Oh, hold on. Nice to meet everyone.
All right.
Okay. Perfect. All right, so nice to meet everyone. I'm Arthur from Verdi, and we are modernizing irrigation systems to help farmers customize water and nutrient delivery for every plant. Now, oh, no, it stopped working.
Try
All
There
right.
we go.
Agriculture is that $10 trillion global industry that we all depend on, but without one crucial resource, water, it would all come to a grinding halt. And water is running out. In the US alone, over 200 million acres of food production are under drought as we speak. And that's forcing farmers to find new ways to manage their crops and their water. That's why at Verdi, we are helping farmers become resilient to drought by developing intelligent swarms of tiny control devices that allow growers to customize water and nutrient delivery for individual sections of crop rows or even individual plants in a field. And for those of you in research like Dr. Hillier, you'll know this as variable rate drip irrigation. Here's how it works. In any given field, there's a lot of variation in water distribution across the field due to variations in the environment like soil and elevation. And if we look at this infrared image on the screen here, you see a red area, which is dry and it needs water, and a green area which doesn't need any. Now, traditionally, growers are forced to solve this problem by simply pumping more water to the entire field, even that green area which doesn't actually need anything. And so at Verdi, we're building an alternative to help growers to save that water. For the first time, growers can effortlessly conserve water by taking water away from the plants that don't need it and redistributing it to the plants that do. Within a single season, we've helped growers to equalize water distribution across their plants, and that does much more than just conserve water. In our first success story, we helped Canada's largest wine company to sell wine for 3 times higher price, and that's because of improved quality. We're also helping growers to increase their yields by up to 20% more and preventing common diseases like powdery mildew, which occur due to moisture imbalance. Here's a swarm of our Verdi devices in the field. And each of these devices have come with proprietary software to optimize their network and power management, ensuring that they can last for years in the field on battery alone. And unlike your traditional smart valve, which is only optimized for simple on and off control, Verdi devices are built to work as a system that can perform complicated tasks in the field. Now, most importantly, each device is extremely easy to scale and install because they integrate seamlessly with existing farm infrastructure. So if we look at the past few years of AgTech innovation, we've seen tremendous innovation in data collection and analytics on the farm. But what's currently lagging is the control systems for farming. Farmers are still stuck with using traditional irrigation systems where it's a simple on and off switch for their entire farm. At Verdi, we're changing that. That used to be okay when water was abundant, but that's no longer the case. And we're making irrigation and fertilizer delivery on the farm location specific, allowing growers to have the precision to save up to 2 times more water than traditional solutions, and also giving them the features that they need to maintain this affordably at scale. Whoops. We currently sell our product at $50 per device per year on an annual subscription. And we currently target the wine industry before moving into fruits and vegetables and reaching scale through distribution partnerships. We sold out for 2021 with 500 devices deployed across 7 customers. We have 25K in ARR and over 200 acres on our wait list. Our customers include the world's largest wine company, which we're working with up near Sacramento, as well as top Canadian brands like Arterra and Mission Hill. Our team brings experience from Silicon Valley and big tech, but our passion for agriculture really comes from our family backgrounds in farming. We spun out of a research collaboration with Google's agriculture group, and we're working with world-class agribusiness experts from DuPont and Trimble to bring our solution to market. We're now taking orders for the next growing season, and we're looking to expand into the Central Valley. So if you know a grower who has interest in our technology, we would love to get their feedback and meet them. Thank you very much, and we are Verdi.
Thank you. Very nice, Arthur. If you could stay there and stay on screen for 3 minutes of Q&A. Let's go to Q&A, but first, a question from yesterday. You sold out and have back orders. Why? Why were you not able to fulfill your back orders? Aren't you hungry for sales?
Yeah, for sure. So one of the big things happening right now is the global supply chain shortage, and you might have heard of it in the news. And so for us, it was really important to focus on the orders that we could fulfill. And then any expansions that our customers wanted from this year, we actually left for the next year so that we could actually fulfill those back orders.
And COVID-19 didn't help with all of them.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, thank you for addressing that. Grace, as usual, if there are any questions from online, please let me know. But for anybody in the room, before I go to Dr. Hillier for the tough questions, anybody have anything for Arthur? Dr. Hillier, you're up, sir. Would you like to hit him up with questions?
Yes, so you described the hardware and how it, just from looking at the hardware, I kind of inferred how you're managing different watts of water in different locations of the field.
Yeah.
Does your system tell the farmer how much they should apply in each location?
So that's something
decision support.
Yeah, so in terms of decision support, that's something that we're currently developing. So the way that we're currently approaching it is we get data feedback from not only soil moisture probes, but also satellite. And we're using that satellite especially to build models where we can help growers to infer how much they should be irrigating each zone with respect to each other. So if you have, say, an area with very high vigor, for example, that would require a lot less water than an area with a lot of low vigor on NDVI. And so that's the decision support that we're starting to build, and we're working with agricultural data scientists on that.
I would like you to follow up, but first I want to see, Grace, if there's anything from online.
Oh, yeah.
So Dr. Hillier, a minute or so with Arthur. Any further questions? This is in your wheelhouse, right?
Yeah, very much so. You mentioned Trimble. Can you tell us what you're doing with Trimble?
Yeah, so the former sales director at Trimble is the person that we're working with. They're one of the advisors on our team, and they're helping us to develop our sales process, especially in reaching growers.
The reason I'm asking is that Trimble actually had a VRI product several years ago. And this looks like it would be competing with their product. So how did that relationship come about, and who's benefiting from it?
Yeah, so in terms of that relationship, that was through the university program that we're currently a part of, and we're incubating as part of that. But in terms of what Trimble is working on in terms of VRA, as far as what we've known in the past, that was mostly in developing ways for farmers to change their irrigation systems, and also applying that to pivot crops. What we're developing is really focused on permanent crops, where VRI has been really difficult because the kind of architecture of your system is really different from what you could use.
Yeah, it's round versus square. Couldn't be more different.
Yeah.
Oh, I see a hand in the back from Jim Finney. He could ask tough questions too. Be nice on him. What do you have, Jim? And speak up. We're going to have to relay your question to our speaker. So short and sweet. What's your question, sir?
This is very interesting. Most of what you're doing looks like it's retrofit on existing systems that have problems.
So Jim is saying it looks like it's retrofitting on existing systems
that have
So
problems.
my question is, in your evaluation of your business environment, what's the obstacle to entry for other major manufacturers? to
So-
come in and mimic?
What's the obstacle for entry for other big competitors to come in and mimic what we see here with Verdi? What's your answer there, Arthur, if you have one?
Yeah, that's a great question. And first, in terms of manufacturers, we're talking to a couple large names in the Valley about distribution partnerships and potential licensing in the future. But in terms of how we're protecting ourselves and defending our technology, on one hand, on the hardware side, we're currently submitting patent applications. But we see that a lot of the special sauces in the software, as well as the data that we're producing from this. And the goal is to build a data moat that we can build further products and analytics off of.
Thank you very much, Arthur, Chen, and Verdi. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, we're doing well on time. We should be done by about 3:30 in about 50 minutes. We have 6 more presentations. Number 5 will be Vertical AgriTech and Ethan Mora, please.
Thanks, Jeff. Let me see
Pleasure.
if it works.
Hopefully.
Okay. Sweet. Looks like we're good. So my name's Ethan Mora. I'm the founder of Vertical AgriTech. At Vertical AgriTech, we make indoor gardens and software that empower hyperlocal communities with the tools they need to build healthy food supply chains. So before I explain why our technology is special, let's take a look at this pilot study we did at Max's Bistro here in Fresno. So like every restaurant, Max's wants to improve their margins. They want to distinguish their menu, and they don't really have that much space. So to prove the value of our technology, we used our home model Alchemist, which is a 27 by 13 by 13 inch environmentally controlled grow box, essentially, to cut packaging, transportation, and receiving time, and improve their margins by 27% on microgreens. On top of that, we increased opportunities for them to generate revenue by white labeling ingredients grown with our proprietary grow settings. So I think this is what really makes our technology valuable. So they're not just growing, Max's didn't just grow any microgreens. They grew Max's Rambo radish microgreens because they were grown with Max's Rambo proprietary grow settings. So the coolest part is that anyone in the world, from farmers, chefs, or students, anyone can create their own custom grow settings and grow their own custom ingredients. So here's how we do it. There's 2 components, the hardware and the software. The software is what allows us to set the automatic grow settings and allows me to remotely monitor or control an Alchemist, whether it's in Max's or anywhere else from the comfort of my own home. And this is the hardware, which is, LED fans, sensors, everything that's needed for a controlled environment device. But I want to highlight 3 components to discuss a little more: the camera, the microcontroller, and the Fogponics unit. So we have a patent pending Fogponics irrigation module that allows us to grow or create the ideal grow settings for mushrooms in regulated humid environments, and is also optimal for growing young plants with emerging fragile root systems. No other device on the market can grow both microgreens and mushrooms, which are 2 very distinct crops. And the only thing that's needed to shift from growing microgreens to mushrooms is a simple change of a nozzle. As to the camera and microcontroller, if a picture tells 1,000 words, pictures and data tell millions of words. So we conducted joint research with Colorado State University to train our algorithms to predict harvest yield. And we're using that same technology to help our potential customers comply with supply chain regulations and health and safety codes. So the data and images that we collect assure our customers that they'll grow just the right amount of produce, just in time every week. These elements also help assure regulators that produce was grown properly, just in time, or that was grown properly when and where we said it was. So I showed you the home model. Now restaurants and markets and grocery stores need more volume. So here's what a 3-tiered Alchemist looks like that can produce 6 pounds of microgreens per week. It's not just about the volume though. So how do we make money? We came up with competitive subscription-based pricing models that are on par with what restaurants currently pay. And this works for the limited number of Alchemists that we'll put into commercial applications prior to our home model debut. So looking at our competitors, here's why we win. Our Fogponics unit is uniquely designed to grow 2 distinct high-value quick harvest ingredients. We talked to hundreds of chefs, restaurants, home consumers, and grocers, and virtually no one wants to consistently grow cheap ingredients like basil that take about a month to grow from seed to a single serving harvest. On top of that, mushrooms and microgreens don't need nutrient solution, so that's a big cost barrier for our competitors to overcome without infringing on our technology. People pay premium prices for microgreens and mushrooms, even though they can be harvested every couple of days because they don't ship well. So microgreens, if they're not properly stored, are only edible for about a week after harvest. And sales of specialty mushrooms in American grocery stores grew 20% in 2020. So here's how we scale. In order to attract consumer customers for the home model that we want to debut in 2023 for $399, we're going to convert traffic from our commercial installations at 10 locations because we think we can get exposure to 40,000 home consumers in 4 months. So each commercial unit will cost $4,000 and they actually make us money. So that's $100 customer acquisition cost for if we get 3% of the foot traffic. So we'll expose our technology and brand to home consumers by offering $25 a month subscriptions. They get them 3 trays of microgreens per month, which they can pick up at 10 install locations. So those $25 subscriptions will then convert to monthly seed and media shipments. But right now, that was a lot to cover, but right now, if you'd like to learn more, I'd be happy to discuss. We're looking for seed investments to build and install our commercial models. We'd also like to donate 1 commercial alchemist to a school here in town and have students work on developing grow settings for restaurants. We need 6 more premier restaurants and grocery stores to debut our commercial model. And we're always looking for farmers and potential home customers to pilot our home model. I'm Ethan Mora and we're Vertical AgriTech.
Nice, Ethan. Thank you. Stay there for the Q&A. Very nice, and Vertical AgriTech. So questions from the audience, either online, through Zoom, or in the room in person. Grace, let me know if we have anything. But Dr. Hillier and Jim Finney, I'm going to pick on the 2 of you. You guys ask relevant questions for these ventures, anyone else who might. But Dr. Hillier, any thoughts on what Ethan presented for Vertical AgriTech?
Could you tell us a little bit more about the fogponics component?
Yeah, so the fogponics component uses an atomizer, or in the medical field, it's called a nebulizer. It basically vibrates the water to produce these small aerated microns of water that we can distribute. This is distinct from aeroponics in that we don't use high pressure irrigation to force the aerated water between 1 and 50 microns through the pipes. So it's optimal for growing fragile root structure plants. And then this is also the same technology that these mushroom farms will use to grow their mushrooms.
So the nebulizer is already used in commercial mushroom production.
Yeah. And we essentially automate that in these modules to be able to scale and then convert using our software from mushrooms to microgreens.
Thank you.
Okay, how about Jim Finney in the background? I don't know, you deal in irrigation. Do you have any thoughts on this Vertical AgriTech? And Jeff Dillon, I see your hand up. We're in trouble if you ask questions, but we're going to let Jeff go first. All right, everybody, here comes Jeff.
So here's the question.
Oh, and the microphone's up here. Would you like to come up here, Mike Grace, into the microphone so the audience can hear your wisdom? You're always a very entertaining chap. Yeah.
So here's the question. I'm thinking about accelerating adoption. So you talked about restaurants. Have you identified Michelin 2 or 3-star restaurants? So David Kinch is a friend of mine at Man Restaurant Los Gatos. He's got a 3-star.
Mm-hmm.
Have you gone in, or the French Laundry in Napa? Have you identified to get a partnership with a couple of these? Because the minute they're part of this, they'll start to communicate what they have that's unique to their restaurant to differentiate them from the other 3 stars. And it also helps you get on a quick comment, be able to dovetail their word of mouth to the type of customers that go to those restaurants.
Always thinking strategically.
And also California just added about 23 more Michelin star restaurants. So I was thinking the same thing as Jeff.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly our strategy. So thanks for the question, Jeff. And that tees it up really nice. So we have our chief innovation officer on our team has actually worked with David Chang at Momo Fuku, Hotel Pulitzer, Michael Minas in San Francisco, and he's really well connected with a lot of these Michelin star restaurants. The other thing worth noting is that in terms of Michelin stars, there's now green Michelin stars where restaurants can get these green Michelin stars for using sustainable technologies. But yes, we've been in conversation with a couple of those types of restaurants. That's why we're limiting our installations to only 10. Because we want to attract those specific types of customers who would be really interested in it. So that is our strategy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ethan. That was Vertical AgriTech. Okay, let's keep this moving. We are halfway done. We have 5 more presentations, and these are online, so they won't be in person on this lectern here. Grace, are we ready to transition to Hexas?
Wendy has given me a thumbs up.
All right, so Hexas and Wendy Owens, please. At least you won't have to deal with our clicker, huh?
I just have to deal with the mute button. That's my problem. I'm Wendy Owens. I'm the founder and CEO of Hexas Biomass. Hexas is a biomaterials company. We have a solution for producing a regenerative biomaterial from our proprietary xenografts. We've received support and grants and business development efforts support from these organizations. So our story starts with this pretty cool plant that I came across in the wild. It looks like corn and bamboo had a baby. We decided that we could look at it towards replacing things like corn, bamboo, wood, and fossil fuel-based feedstocks in many applications. It doesn't cost much to produce. It's good for farmers and the soil and the environment, which is something we found out a little later as we started doing our investigation, because we found out that humans cut down 15 billion trees a year, and there are 1.2 million acres of marginal cropland. And we think that our proprietary grass and the resulting fiber can help solve both of these problems. So we developed a grass called xenograss. It sequestered 13.2 tons of carbon every year. It's climate resilient, no pesticides, grows in multiple locations. We do not have to displace food crops for its production, and we use mechanical harvesting and production capabilities. So we produce a fiber, and this is what we sell. We call it xenofiber. We sell by the ton. It can become in many different formats and then become many different products, from boards to biofuels to paper and bioplastics. The reason we are superior to other biomass that you may have heard of, like miscanthus, bamboo, hemp, etc., is because we're extremely land efficient in our production. So we're producing significantly more tons per acre. That also brings our price down very low, on top of having low inputs in terms of water and nutrient requirements. This is an EPA-approved bioenergy crop that meets the renewable fuel standards and qualifies for RINs D3, D6, and D7. We know what our customers want. They want a high quality, low cost, high quality plant-based material with consistent properties. They want a reliable supply. They want to use it in their current manufacturing systems, and they want to meet their sustainability goals. And they do not want to contribute to these things anymore. So we've developed what we call our farm to fiber platform. You've heard of farm to fork or farm to table. This is farm to fiber at local production of our grass. We clone, we hire farmers to do the production. We harvest, and then we deliver a conversion ready formatted fiber to our customers. We sign 10+ year supply agreements with our customers for this fiber, and we sell on a per ton basis. The per ton price depends on how much post-harvest processing we have to do prior to delivery. Right now, we're focused on 2 target markets. We've made good headway in fiber boards. That's medium density fiber board, particle board, and also oriented strand board, something new. And then we're moving into bioenergy, more an organic way, because we won a SBIR grant from the Department of Energy recently. We have a really good pipeline. We have our pilot supply agreement that we initiated recently. We also are in negotiations for another supply agreement. We're joining a consortium to bring bioenergy over to Indonesia. So we're working on fiber boards, bioplastics, energy pellets, and methanol at the moment. So I've been bootstrapping this company since its founding. We've received over $200,000 in grants. In 2022, we're looking for $1.5 million in funding. We are an agricultural company, so we work on an agricultural cycle. We would include in that funding request $250,000 for our infrastructure and capital expenditures. And we'll be using this to finalize supply agreements, additional hiring, expand research farm. And we're looking to plant 20,000 acres by 2026. So we are looking at exit strategy going into this. This is my 4th startup. So we are already in relationships with an aggregator, Sumitomo, over in Japan. There are commodity fiber suppliers who may want to have an alternative to wood. And we're also working with integrators already as customers. So potential high returns, and we're very excited about moving forward. We have an excellent team. I've done 4 startups. We have an excellent agronomist. He's been doing this for over 20 years, business development and communications folks. Our advisors are top-notch and vary from business development through finance, through actual technical applications. So I look forward to any questions you may have. Thank you very much for your time.
All right, yes, good job, Wendy Owens of Hexas. Thank you for that pitch. Now 3 minutes of Q&A. Dr. Hillier is now also remote on his computer for questions. We can always go to him, but let's see if we have any questions from anybody in the room or anybody online. If you're online and have any questions for Wendy of Hexas, please chat them in or raise your hand. Grace, give me a cue if you have any questions. Dr. Hillier, can I pivot to you? Do you have anything for Wendy on Hexas?
I'm curious if how this crop's crop water requirements compare to some of the other crops that you mentioned in your presentation. Do you have any data on that?
Yes, we're about 1 acre foot per year.
1 acre foot per acre per year?
Per acre per year, yes.
So 12 inches of water a year. What
Yes.
climate would that be relevant for?
Well, that would, it would be non-irrigated with some rainfall. So we wouldn't require that sort of minimum 1 acre foot per acre per year. We can get it via rainfall or we can get it via irrigation, but we can grow in grow zones from 6 to 13. We can't grow on top of mountains, but wide range depending based on the varieties that we've developed for warmer and colder climates.
And if there's a severe water stress during the season, is that season's crop lost or will it recover?
No, fortunately, it will recover. It will go dormant to conserve water, but once it has access to water again, it will start growing again.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Jim Finney, the speaker is up here. Would you want to walk up here or would you want to relay your question to me, sir? Oh, I can walk with this one, I'm told. Okay, let's
Now that
see.
we don't have a speaker up there, we can.
There we go.
walk
So
with it.
the question is, with irrigation, proper fertigation, can you get more than 1 cutting a year, or can you increase your yield or quality of your crops?
With irrigation, certainly we could increase our yield. But this plant's more of a sun-loving plant, so it would love to have a little bit more sun. In terms of cuttings per year, we do 1 cutting per year right now. We could do multiple cuttings per year, depending on the application. So if we were going to use it for biogas production, for example, in a digester, we probably do 2 cuttings per year so that we don't get a really fibrous material or really fibrous material. But if we were using it, for example, for any kind of board applications, we would want it to firm up pretty good and have a taller stalk. So we can get stalks that will be between 20 and 40 feet tall in a year.
So the reason I ask that is while I was working on high frequency irrigation in Kansas, using subsurface drip and high fertility inputs, we were able to double crop sorghum. They don't normally do that. So that's why I'm asking these questions.
Very good question. Yes, and we use the drip sub irrigation as well. Yeah.
So we're going to wrap this up, but Wendy, new puppy this week, been keeping you up? Did you get any sleep recently?
No, she's all good. Thanks, Jeff. She's just fine.
All right. Wendy Owens of Hexas Biomass. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, we're going to go to our 7th presentation. And if Juan's internet in Argentina is working well, I'm getting a thumbs up on that. Let's have Kairospace Technologies, Juan Braven, please.
Can you see my screen?
Not yet. We can see you.
And you look
okay,
wonderful, but where's your presentation, sir? Or are you going to go without it?
1 second.
All right, we see your screen now.
Here it is.
There we go.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna take this out of the way. Okay, I'm counting. Hello, my name is Juan. I'm CEO and co-founder of Kairospace Technologies. Kairospace is a strategic innovation hub that optimizes industrial water processes by leveraging cutting-edge technologies and advanced science. We provide integrated solutions that increase system efficiencies and decrease environmental impact in multiple industries. Our introductory systems are designed to enhance efficiencies in the most fundamental activity of our civilization, that is agriculture. This activity consumes between 70 to 80% of all freshwater resources. It feeds us all, and the main actors, the growers, are growing through hard times. Ag producers are experiencing many operational challenges, as keeping operating costs down, generating new ways to differentiate their products, food safety issues, among others. And when looking at ways of improving their efficiencies, they face several barriers, as having access to capital, lack of knowledge of new technologies, skepticism, and lack of support to try new techs. Kairospace is addressing these problems with a holistic approach that consists in the provision of a high-tech water enhancement system tied to an attractive and low-risk business model that is supported by a platform called CairoHub that adds value to its members. Our hardware solution, the AG packs, optimize physiochemical properties of water for an enhanced irrigation. Our systems are the first to integrate ultrafine bubbles, plasma-activated water, and a proprietary water conditioning system into a single package. The technology runs on proprietary innovations and is protected by a tamper-proof mechanism. The AG packs are super easy to install. They can work with any type of irrigation systems and can be used upstream to treat the fresh water that enters into the system or downstream to treat the wastewater effluents. We have successfully validated our technology in the bench. We have demonstrated remarkable effects in stimulating seed germination, growth of plants, increasing nutritional value, and extending its shelf life. We have had also success in incorporating nitrogen from the atmosphere into the water and reducing its surface tension for a better irrigation. Our hardware delivers operational benefits to the growers, like increases in yields, water and fertilizer savings, and the delivery of a cleaner and more nutritious products. Our business model and platform lowers the barriers to improve efficiencies. We are committed to help the people that feed us. We are targeting a large audience. Any ag producer that wants to increase profits, drive efficiencies up, and reduce its ecological footprint, it could be a customer of Kairospace. We are initially targeting growers in the controlled environment agriculture, cannabis, and small horticulture farms. Once that we scale up our technology, we're going to target large farms. Kairospace operates with a combined approach, offering customers unmatched results with an attractive low-risk business model and a platform that will deliver many additional advantages. Our competitors, on the other hand, usually offer segregated solutions without ease of integration. Our business model is water enhancement as a service. Our clients get to install our technology with no cost associated and pay a monthly fee for its use. We will have three sources of revenue: recurring fees of the use of our technology, sales of complementary products and services through the CairoHub, and technology licensing to international partners. Our 40 gallons per minute will have a cost of $1,000 per month, and by getting 83 clients, we will get to $1 million in annual recurring revenue. We will launch commercially our company in Central Valley. Our sales approach consists in regional beta testing, roadshow to present results to other growers from the mouth of a fellow grower, and launching our referral program while integrating farm advisors and farmers organizations as brand ambassadors. Everything is going to be supported by educational resources. I have a dream team for tech development, and we're already scouting for new rock stars to join our lines to drive sales and assist in manufacturing. How big can this get? Our goal for agriculture is to set up a new standard for water, meaning by this that it won't make any sense to use regular water when you can use our treated water to boost yields, generate savings, and reduce the ecological impact of ag operations, everything while delivering a healthier and cleaner product to the consumers. Our ask is that we are looking for partners to jump on our free of charge beta testing program and investors to complete an investment for an additional $1 million to close our seed round. Thank you very much, and I'm open for questions.
See, this should be working now. My speaker should be working now. Okay, thank you, Juan. That was good. Kairospace Technologies. So now we go into 3 minutes of questions to see if Dr. Hillier has any thoughts, if we have any questions from people in the room or online. But Dr. Hillier, for Kairospace and its water treatment as a service, do you have any thoughts or questions for Juan?
Wanted to know what's the power and energy requirement for one of these units for the, let's say the 40 gallon per minute size?
The 40 gallon per minute consumes, without the pump, as the hair dryer of your wife. It has like a consumption of 2000 watts. It's barely minimum the consumption. And as we scale up the technology, the most of the power consumption is on the pump, and we can use existing pumps tied to our system.
So the pump isn't integrated into your system?
We can provide the pump or not, and depending on the customer needs.
Okay, and that's the energy. Is there an instantaneous load? How many kilowatts instantaneous?
Is 2 kilowatts, 2.2 kilowatts.
2 kilowatts continuous then?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Thank you,
All right.
Dr. Hilliard Grace.
And then we have a question online. So I am going to unmute my friend Waldo and see if one of our Valley Ventures alumni would like to ask a question.
Waldo, you're also from South America. You came up from Chile to our Valley Ventures, and you've been selling your Eco 2 mix units all up and down the Central Valley, correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
So you
And
have
I can do the question in Spanish if you want.
you would lose me, but I know a lot of folks.
No, I know, Juan, and I have a question for you. Juan, I know we talked about this in the past, about the system. The 40 gallons per minute unit is going to treat, that is considered like it's going to be the max flow of the irrigation, complete irrigation flow go through it, or you are treating part of the water?
That depends on the type of irrigation system. This 40 gallon per minute can operate on a closed loop with a water reservoir, so you can keep it operating all the time. And we're on the process of scaling the technology up. By the end of the year, we will have designed the 200 gallons per minute unit, and you can use it with the system with the water as it goes through, or on a closed loop as we recommended with a water reservoir or a fertigation tank.
Okay, and I have one more question regarding that too. So it's a matter of time. Then you have a unit that is going to be able to fit like a regular farmer in the West Coast, because usually what I'm seeing from the farmers there, the irrigation system they have, they don't run less than 100 or maybe 200, sometimes 300 or more gallons per minute in the irrigations, even if it's a small farmer. A small farmer. It's not like a small greenhouse. Even the greenhouses, they use a lot of flow. So you have to think about in the size of the unit. That's what I asking is treating the water like constantly accumulated in a tank or in a reservoir, and then you use that water with the regular irrigation pumps.
Okay.
Yeah, as it is now, the system is meant for small to medium greenhouses, for small cannabis growers, and for small horticulture farms. We're in the process again of scaling up the technology, and we're going to be able to treat more capacity as it flows through the system. So there wouldn't be the need of a reservoir, and we would be able to treat the water only in one pass through the system.
Perfect.
Okay, very good. So with time in mind, Juan, thank you very much for your presentation on Kairospace Technologies. Thank you. Let's move on to our 8th presentation, and that would be Lemna and Travis Andren, please.
Thank you. I just lost internet and it just came back, so we're gonna recover here. Perfect.
You threw in some drama, didn't you?
You know, you got to make an entrance.
There you go.
All right, we're gonna share the screen here. Give me just a brief notification when you can see 3 images.
We sure can.
Wonderful. And let me just move this so I can see something. Perfect. All right. Within livestock agriculture, 1 billion tons of manure are produced each year. Manure that contains valuable nutrients used on croplands. This manure is commonly diluted with fresh water and applied to crops in an underinformed process. This practice has resulted in environmental damage to waterways and has even caused human health concerns. We are Lemna, we know the value of fresh water, and we're here to help farmers use it more efficiently. Lemna provides a data-driven biological filter for manure water, making every drop legal, precise, and profitable for the farm. While states implement necessary water quality policies, many farmers are challenged to find compliant solutions that work for their farms. When referencing farming, it's helpful to remember that every state is different, every farm is different, and many farms are multi-sided businesses. A glimpse into California regulations identifies specific counties where the most stringent water quality regulations are enacted. over 700 dairy farms in the red priority 1 nitrate contamination zones are required to achieve water nitrate levels below the federal minimum. One of these farms is Curdy Made Dairy in Corcoran, California. This 100-year-old dairy was recently issued a $65 million water nitrate lawsuit filed by the city council after testing groundwater and finding nitrates. When looking at existing nutrient management solutions, they often range from very low cost, offering little more than traditional compost, through to complex and expensive chemical-based solutions. Lemna uses duckweed for phytoremediation. As one of the fastest growing aquatic plant species, duckweed rapidly embeds nutrients into the plant's biomass, reproducing 100% of that biomass in 12 to 36 hours. As an asset, duckweed makes a high protein animal feed and can aid in anaerobic digestion processing, and due to its ability to sequester carbon, is emerging as a biofuel feedstock. As a new technology, Lemna fits within industry standard cost models. However, beyond providing just compliant water, we give farmers access and control over nutrient levels while producing a marketable asset for their farm. A closer look at the technology shows that Lemna's layered growth system is equipped with horticultural grow lights and an automated duckweed harvest system within a controlled environment. As duckweed is grown on the surface of the lagoon water, it is harvested twice daily while the water is continually monitored by water quality sensors. Once the water quality reaches a desired nutrient density, it is effluated from the system into the farm's irrigation pond. These Lemna layers are stacked on standard warehouse shelving and installed in standard pole barn size structures on farm. The water quality data is conveyed back to the farmer in a convenient app that allows them to precisely plan irrigation events. Premium data packages give farmers precise control over when the water leaves the system based upon nutrient profiles specific to their crops. Lemna's service plan provides hands-off operation for farmers, paired with the option for additional water metric testing. From the top down, the livestock industry's manure management is often split by animal type. Lemna sees the most urgent need and greatest opportunity in the dairy and hog markets. In dairy, California leads the nation with the largest inventory, followed by Wisconsin and other states. Cumulatively, the annual spend on manure management in dairy exceeds $2.8 billion. The hog market is dominated by the state of Iowa with over 3 times as many hogs as the next closest state. The hog manure management annual spend exceeds $13 billion. Lemna's projections over the next 10 years are modeled on standard dairy farm sizes of 2,000 head using 50 gallons per head per day and industry average. Based upon a standard MSRP of $1,649 per Lemna layer, we project annual growth that will position year 10 revenues to exceed $100 million annually, with a cumulative acquisition of just over 450 dairy farms from a national inventory of over 40,000. These projections do not account for inroads into the hog market, which is 4 times larger than the dairy market. Lemna was founded by a team of industry professionals to bring decades of product development experience and international corporate leadership. As we progress through our development phases toward market launch, we'll be expanding our team with roles integral to our success. We are currently executing a phase 1 laboratory trial in a controlled environment growth chamber on ASU's Polytechnic campus. These trials are providing a demonstrated effect of specific duckweed species on manure lagoon water sourced from 4 customer farms in California and Oregon. Phase 2 on-farm trials are set to begin in 2022 and will last for 1 year on-farm, positioning containers of Lemna layers for a multi-point performance evaluation. Phase 3 market launch is anticipated for 2023 at the World Ag Expo there in California. With a steadfast determination to help farms perform better, we are today seeking to close our pre-seed round of $300,000 to complete our phase 1 trials and move into our phase 2 on-farm evaluations in California and Oregon. Interested investors can reach me directly at travis@lemna.farm for a complete business plan. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Travis. That was a good pitch. So let's go to questions from anyone online or in the room, but Dr. Hillier, I'm going to go to you first. Do you have any thoughts for Travis and Lemna?
I do have one question, but before that, I just wanted to say thank you for adding the sustainable development goals that your product identifies. That's a really big thing coming out of the UN. So thank you for adding that.
My pleasure. My first graduate degree is in environmental policy, and those have been a path forward for me for a long time.
Excellent. So my question, one of the challenges in dealing with swine effluent is odor. Does this product have any impact on odor management?
Certainly. So we are pulling from the settling lagoon on most farms. And because we're pulling it into a controlled environment atmosphere that is fully sealed, we believe that the odor will be contained within our system. Now, we can't speak for the lagoons themselves. However, many of the lagoons, especially in the hog industry, are being covered to capture that biogas as a form of digestion.
Thank you.
Dr. Heater, did you want to follow up with Travis on any other thoughts you had? Hog, dairy, otherwise? Duckweed?
I think that's it for now. I'll let somebody else have a turn.
Sure, sure. If you have any other thoughts, we'll take them. Grace, if there's anyone online, please let me know. I'm scooting back to the back of the room here for Jim Finney with his water treatment for dairies. Do you have any thoughts on this, sir? Can I put the speaker up to you? And I'll bring it back to you here. So shoot, if he can hear you.
So you mentioned the value of that as a feedstock. So we're talking about a circular economy. What is the value to the grower for that?
Absolutely. So duckweed carries about a 40% protein by mass, very similar to soybeans. Now we're looking at the ability for based on the scale of the farm and the size of installation as to how much duckweed they can grow. But I will say that we have a calculator devised that if the energy cost is subsidized through solar or things like that, it does come out net positive for the farmer.
So with that high of protein, then it would have to be part of a rations, food rations, because that's
correct. Yeah, part of a TMR, a total mixed ration. And we've looked at so sometimes duckweed, if grown in a high nitrate environment, can also embed and have high nitrates as well. And I've been interviewing with nutritionists and dairy farmers that are sensitive to this because of the rumen animal and the multi-stomach behavior to nitrates. However, in the hog market, because they're a single stomached animal, they actually respond a lot better to duckweed. And it's also being used for high protein animal consumption. I'm sorry, high protein human consumption.
All right, Travis, thank you. Danilo Leal.
Question online, Jeff.
Okay, I'll get to the question online, but Danilo Leal, just quickly, thank you for being here. You're part of BOV Control. You're also dealing in dairy space. I don't know if you consider yourself competitor here, but do you have any thoughts for Travis?
Yes, a question. How do you see your business scaling up and you know the restrictions with the hardware related to that?
Sure. Okay. So each of our layers in the version 1 product or in the version 1 model holds about 200 gallons of water. We're working on a version that holds a bit more than that as well. And so duckweed has actually been tested in labs for use on municipal wastewater systems. And so we are targeting the dairy and hog market mostly because of the demand on regulations and the pressures that those farmers are under right now. But we do see an opportunity to remediate any natural waterways that have algae in them, as we can reduce the nutrient level of that water down and kind of starve that algae of some of those nutrients. And then we also look at the opportunity for integration in with controlled environment agriculture, vertical farming, greenhouses, things like that.
Okay, real quick online, is it something we can deal with?
So this one should be pretty easy, Travis. Has there been any feed trials on duckweed?
Yeah, there have been actually a lot of published trials, specifically around goats, actually, but it's been an aquaculture feed for decades. And then there are companies in Canada, for example, that are making a human consumption plant-based protein powder. Very similar to a fitness powder, if you could find.
All right, well, thank you very much for that, Travis and Lemna. Nice. Okay. All right, we're going to our 9th presentation, RHST Industries. Thomas Graddick, please.
Okay. Are we okay?
We can see you, but not your presentation yet. You might have to go find a Zoom bar somewhere.
Can you see it now?
Not yet. You got to go back to Zoom and hit the share button. For some reason, that little status bar always disappears for you, Thomas.
And while Thomas tries to find a Zoom menu bar in the share, oh, he did.
Okay,
You shut me down, Thomas. Nice work. All yours, sir.
Hold on. Wait.
Oh, and your slide deck's taking off on you. You need to back
Correct.
up.
Hold on.
Thomas did win an award from EY, the new name for Ernst Young, which I thought was impressive. And he also made some inroads with UC Davis.
Let's go back.
Trial.
So right now we can see it looks like you need to hit play from current slide maybe, or
Up in the top left corner. There you go.
There we go, Thomas. You are good to go.
Super. Okay, good afternoon. My name is Thomas Graddick, founder and CEO of RHST Industries, a Canadian-based company featuring the water pearl. a smart water solution. I'm highlighting a famous quote from Albert Einstein, illustrating our need as a society to change our thinking when it comes to how we value water. Now is the time to think differently. The questions on every farmer's minds are, where did the water go? What if you cannot grow food in soil? It's due to climate change. And because of climate change, the water that was naturally held in the soil and available to plants is disappearing. To uphold this, farmers in San Joaquin are scrambling for water, as water transfers, trades, and sales have doubled this year. Food and water security is the next global crisis. Global food demand will increase by 50% by the year 2050. 70% of global fresh water is consumed in ag. 30 to 50% of groundwater evaporates. In a CDP study last year of food companies with exposure to water risks that threaten their reputation and license to operate, the security of their supply chain, their financial stability, and their ability to grow, the combined business value at risk topped out at $425 billion, with about 40% of the risks anticipated within the next 3 years. We collectively need to focus on combining sustainable and efficient agriculture to meet our future needs. And one of the first steps is to maximize water efficiency by limiting its loss. We need to act now. We need to ask ourselves, what is the relationship between the price and the value of water? The price often reflects attempts for cost recovery and not for value delivered. We use nature because it is valuable, but we lose it because it is free. Conserving groundwater is nature capital in your asset portfolio, and evaporation reduces the value of your farm. RHST approaches the issue of water efficiency with a nature-based solution. We focused on biomimicry to copy from nature a solution that requires no human intervention. We developed a solution inspired from the lotus leaf and replicated it on 100% organic bead, obtaining super hydrophobic behavior to reduce water vapor pressure at the air-water interface, and enable farmers to harvest groundwater. Simply put, our solution keeps more water in the soil by preventing its premature evaporation. RHST water pearls deliver more crop per drop. They enable growers to harvest water in the soil by inhibiting water vapor from escaping and enhancing the capital value of their farm as a long-term investment strategy for sustainable agriculture, mitigating impact from tomorrow's climate challenges without the shortcomings. RHST water pearls are uniquely positioned to serve high water use ag markets. The water pearls simply cover the root zone of the plant to inhibit the loss of water from evaporation, reducing water consumption by 30 to 50%, while increasing plant yield by up to 30% without the use of additional fertilizers. It offers flexible modular installation options for easy application and requires no maintenance or upkeep, and it has a 50-year lifespan. Who would benefit from this product, you ask? Farmers of water-intensive crops, farmers in drought-stricken areas, farmers with incentives from government to reduce water consumption, eco-conscious farmers, and first adopters. Green water management increases productive transpiration, reduces soil surface evaporation, and encourages groundwater recharge. Transforming evaporation into usable groundwater for harvesting delivers resilience, risk aversion, and value today and in the future. RHST water pearls are a fully engineered and developed technology ready for market penetration, allowing farmers to harvest groundwater. Our technology has been validated in Canada, Mexico, the Middle East, and China, and recognized internationally as a sustainable game changer with peer-reviewed scientific publications. As an innovative solution with a focus on smart sustainability to produce more food in even more ways, RHST would seek to generate local data to quantify and qualify the benefits from trials in California, to provide more clarity and a systematic approach to groundwater harvesting, accounting for the multiple benefits of water pearls in any way that builds the business case for investing and implementing water pearls at scale. I wish to thank you for your attention and interest towards improving the quality of life for future generations, which is the legacy I personally want to leave. I look forward to your feedback and questions. Thank you for your time. I hope that you will embrace this nature-based solution for your children.
Thank you, Thomas. Very good.
All right.
RHST Industries. So let's go on to questions. And I do want to say we might go about 5-10 minutes over. It's about 3:40 p.m. I apologize for going over, but let's do questions for RHST and then let's go to our last presentation. Does anyone have any questions or thoughts for Thomas? Dr. Hillier, starting with you. Water pearls preventing water vapor. Can that increase farm value?
Well, reducing evaporation could certainly increase irrigation efficiency. And I've met with Thomas a couple times already. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of these field trials happen.
Great, thank you.
Any questions from online? And if not, I might move a little quicker to try to get us back on time a little bit. But does anybody have any questions for Thomas, RHST, and his water pearls? Thomas, I have a question for you. What are your opportunities for trials in California? Are you stirring up some opportunities? Do you have something maybe with UC Davis by chance?
That's correct. We are looking to work with Professor Isaiah Kiseka in an almond farm that he's already has he started the trial 3 years ago with the first year plants, so saplings. And it could be a very nice opportunity to fit in into his field trials.
And Thomas, you ended your presentation on for your children and really looking forward, with solving big problems. That is your passion for this, correct? That's why you're trying to put water pearls in the Western United States, correct?
That's correct.
Where does that come from? Where does that passion, where does that drive come from? Because you have other opportunities to use water pearls to make money, but you are dog-headedly going for agriculture in the Western United States.
Nothing on this planet can survive without water. And climate change is taking up water and holding it in the atmosphere as temperature rises. It's not coming back down in the hydrological cycle. So we have to have efficiency in the water management. And evaporation is the loss of water that doesn't serve anything in agriculture. So in order to feed the planet, we have to properly manage our water resources. So reducing the water footprint is the only way possible.
And you also think by preventing water vapor from going up into the air, that might be able to manage climate warming as well? That's another play?
That's correct. And NASA provides you confirmation that 75% of global warming is caused by water vapor, radiative forcing in terms of feedback, as well as the latent heat of condensation. Those are two venues where water vapor is impacting global warming the most.
And last question before we go to Tectonics constructs, but Thomas, where are you located and when are you going to send Sylvain to California?
In the middle of winter when it's -40 here in Montreal.
All right. Thank you very much, Thomas. Nice job.
Thank you. All right.
All right. Let's move on to our last presentation for the VV6 Pitch Event, and that would be Tectonics Constructs. Ben Lepley, are you back from your irrigation, your attempt to make a deal yesterday somewhere outside of Tucson, 2-hour drive from you? Things go well, I hope?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can see your Solar River. Please go when you're ready.
All right. So I'm Ben Lepley with Tectonics Constructs with the project Solar River. Our team is architecture, engineering, and a research firm intent on mitigating climate change through creative and deployable solutions. We're approaching this issue through the lens of infrastructure as a climate solution. We have invested 5 years and $1.3 million on the project to date. We have existing partnerships of U of A, UC Merced, and George Cairo Engineering, including funding from Department of Energy for research and development. The problem is our infrastructure is built with massive reciprocal waste. Moving water is the single largest user of electricity in the West, and thermoelectric power is the largest industrial user of water. Second, the West is suffering a climate change fueled drought, causing Colorado River water shortages and water cuts. Reclamation is now paying Arizona farmers not to farm in order to save water. Third, our open air canal systems suffer from sunlight caused from algae blooms and hardened water from evaporation. Fourth, our climate carbon-based power system exacerbates climate change, drought, and water supply instability. Our solution is CSSPs, canal spanning solar panels, covering and powering canals with solar energy. We will generate clean energy with no water use and no land destruction close to power users. We could save up to 10,000 acre-feet of water per year, up to 140,000 acres from being bulldozed for land-based use utility solar, and generate up to 17.2 terawatt hours of electricity per year in Arizona. All of those facts were for Arizona. Our current systems will have a 7% power boost because cooler panels over canal water will produce more electricity. We could reduce evaporation by up to 50% and protect against algae and E. coli, leading to improved water quality. Thermoelectric power consumption and carbon emissions would be greatly reduced. And we could deliver utility scale solar to both rural and urban areas. Our technology is in two parts, software and hardware, with patents pending for each. On the software side, we've created a custom BIM software system that automatically adjusts to any canal orientation up to 120 feet wide, automatically finds the lowest levelized cost of energy, and generates a 3D model to be used for construction documents. On a hardware side, we've created a modular system of assembly utilizing off-the-shelf steel profiles and custom connections that allow for streamlined construction process. It's an adaptable structure with modular parts and consistent fabrication method. It is removable from a canal in an emergency or for O&M. Our business model has three revenue streams: fabrication and installation of the system, operations and maintenance for the life of the system, and if we choose, we can license our software to outside solar firms. Our pricing is based on a percentage of the project's capital expenditure as well as a proportion of the power generation. CSSP owners could take advantage of a 10% solar ITC tax credit, and they can also leverage the financing of these canal upgrades with solar power income. Our market size for Arizona and the Southwest is calculated based on the surface area of the canals. The SEIA has calculated a 45% per year increase in the solar market. In California and Arizona, we have $325 million of market size for the prime canal operators, and that will only grow as pressures on farmers increase. Currently, we're in a DOE phase 2, testing a prototype, and we are looking for pilot demonstration partners and project financing investors.
Because time starts. Thank you for the final pitch today. Thank you, everyone. It's 3:32. I apologize for going a few minutes late. We will have questions for Ben and Solar River. So with that, if anybody has any questions, please chat them in or let Grace know you have a question. And Grace, you will let me know if you have a question. Dr. Hillier, we're going to you first, as always. Any thoughts about this Solar River concept?
I remember seeing this presentation a few weeks ago, and it really looks great. I think we asked you about maintenance in the original presentation, but that is one of the big obstacles with having anything over a canal. Can you tell us a little bit about how the maintenance works?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of our patents is on a removable system that you could take a forklift and lift up one side if you need to get in emergency. We've also verified that by talking to canal owners in Yuma, Welton Mohawk, that they would be able to use a drag chain to clean out their canals in silty areas. Some of the prime sites, one of the prime sites we're looking for a prototype is areas with swifter water, where there's less silt deposition. But it is possible on straight sections to have these structures overhead even without a removable structure and still do your drag chain or other such cleaning. Also, one thing to keep in mind is because algae grows with sunlight, that algae, when it clumps up on the side of the Shot Creek Canal, traps silt. It allows weeds to grow and those sorts of things. So when that algae doesn't grow, your O&M costs and silt deposition rates will go way down. And we will be testing those algae growth rates with our Biosphere 2 prototype test. And so we have a water scientist that'll be testing that specifically.
Just one quick follow-up question. Is the scientist going to be looking at potential impacts on water temperature?
Yeah, we'll be monitoring water temperature, microclimate, so humidity above the canal, and things like wind speed and all sorts of even mineralization or water hardness and stuff like that.
Thank you.
And how much water is lost due to evaporation.
Very good. Thank you, Ben and Dr. Hillier, for those questions. Grace, anyone online or no?
Not yet, but you can still chat it in or raise your hand.
All right. Ben, you are completing an SBIR phase 2 grant through the Department of Energy, correct? And how is that looking for you?
Good. Construction's going at a really high clip right now. We're just starting our steel currently, and we'll be erecting that in the next month or two, and installing the panels shortly thereafter. And that's when UC Merced comes in and does their independent verification of whether or not it works. Yeah. So we've got 2 universities working on this.
Excellent. Well, Ben, thank you very much for your presentation on Tectonics constructs at Solar River. That brings us to the culmination of Valley Ventures' 6th cohort of our accelerator here, and you 10 ventures are officially graduated, done with our accelerator. Yay! You've done your pitch. You made your pitch to provide meaningful water, energy, and agricultural solutions here in California and beyond. I wish you luck, and I hope anybody who's online who's seen this, who is interested, will reach out to these founders or to anyone at the Wet Center so we can connect you. This has been recorded, and the Wet Center will be putting out the recordings of this. And also the ventures will have this recording so that they can also do some marketing with that, and maybe reach out to some folks to see if they can get some partners to move forward. So I apologize for going a little bit late over time, and it's 3:37 Pacific, but I'm going to let the Wet Center team say goodbye as we end this, and I'm going to let Dr. Hillier be last. I'm going to be first. Thank you everyone for being a part of this. All the ventures, all the speakers, all the attendees, I very much appreciate it. I love seeing these ventures try to succeed. Now quickly around the horn, Hadley, please. And Grace, do you guys want to say anything to the audience or just move on?
Just thanks everyone for participating.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Halle Peterson, would you like to say anything?
Halle's actually had to jump off.
Halle had to jump off. Benjamin Francis, you're taking these ventures to our VV6 advisory services. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I love the pitches today.
You like the pitches, you say? You want 10 seconds? You want to say something?
Yeah, sure. Great pitches, everyone, for those of you that I'm looking at and those that can just hear me, and look forward to the next phase. It's going to be an exciting 10 months. So
be easy on them.
Yeah, we'll try.
Yeah, and I'd be remiss if I didn't say something.
Uh-oh, Jeff Dillon. Okay. Hillier, hold on for a sec.
Listen, I started this 2 years ago because of this guy sitting in front of me, Ben Francis, where he heard me pontificating somewhere in Monterey over something of value, I guess. But the point is, 2 years, last year, they couldn't do it live because of COVID, but I think we should all give a big round of applause to this guy here, Jeff Macon, for what he said.
Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Hillier, please take us home. This is VV6 in the end. Do you have any final thoughts, sir?
Well, first, congratulations to all the ventures that have participated. We're really glad to have you guys here. Working with the ventures is one of the really exciting parts of my job. So I've enjoyed working with you all. I hope we get to continue to work together in the future. Thank you very much.